Welcome to Off the Cut, a podcast where we talk about building, making,
and answering all of your questions.
I'm Eric from Spenceley Design Co.
And I'm Zach from Zach Builds. If you have a question that you would like us to answer on air, you can send it to offthecutpodcast@gmail.com.
You can find both of us on YouTube, Instagram, and unfortunately, because we have to keep up with kids, you can find us on TikTok too.
All right, now let's get into the show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Off the Cut, episode 68. We're up in Toronto. Everything is on fire on Tuesday, June 16th, 2023. But here in Ohio, today is respectfully dedicated to the food of the day. And let me be the first one to congratulate everyone who's listening. It's an actual food today, but it's something I've never heard of.
This is fun.
Cake.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of that either. Applesauce cake? Is it specifically designed for young children?
That's exactly what I was thinking. It sounds
This is like something they serve at a daycare.
Dude, it looks delicious.
Okay. Oh, it does look delicious. Look at this.
It looks almost
like a carrot cake.
Roll. Yeah, like a carrot cake pumpkin roll.
Whoa.
Cream cheese, brown sugar,
whoa.
powdered sugar, butter, applesauce, cinnamon.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Raisins.
Podcast over. I gotta go get one of these. I'll see you guys.
Yeah. Where do you think someone acquires one of those? You think Costco's got one?
That's a good question. I don't know. I've never seen one at Costco before, but then again, I've never looked either.
The first recipe is from cookingclassy.com. Something tells me this girl doesn't look very classy.
No? Why not?
I mean, I'm not trying to jump into any judgment here. But,
well, I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, that's more for the after show.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, her website is the classic recipe website where you go on and you have to scroll down for 3 years before you can find what you're actually looking for.
Yeah. That is such a... I'm surprised there's not more backlash in the cooking community when it comes to that. Because this would not work in YouTube. Like, you couldn't, have 10 minutes of filler content at the start of every video. Because people would just tune out instantly. So I don't understand why this is still passable in the blogging world.
Okay, so I'm on the website. And I'm going to tell you how many ads I get to before I get the recipe.
Okay.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are we going to count the sidebar ad that stays up?
I think you got to. And then, if you're looking at Derek's screen, he's got a floater as well as the sidebar one that's pinned.
That's 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 ads before I get to the ingredients.
Yeah.
Derek, how many you got?
Do you count that bottom bar one as an ad too?
Oh, yeah.
I got 6 if you count everything. Got 1 here. 2.
3.
That's the latest
I
video.
think that's her
3.
video.
I don't think it is.
5,
it is.
6. This one reloaded. So maybe that's 7 now.
Yeah.
And then we got recipe.
And then the bottom bar too.
There's some of them that you go down and you literally, this is not the worst offender, but there's some where you scroll for an absolute eternity. They tell you the history of flour, how sugar was made, about how this guy's grandmother invented butter.
And then they say next page.
Do you think that's a deliberate play on their part to be to force you to look at more ads before you see the information you want to see? Or do these bloggers think that they're like Hemingway and they're like, I am writing the world's greatest introduction to a recipe ever?
I mean, it's probably a little bit of both. I think
it's probably both.
The smarter blogger is going to start using that Chat GPT to just fill that out for them.
It's true. It's very true.
That's not a bad idea.
I was messing around with ChatGPT, so I was trying to get ChatGPT to create written summaries of my YouTube videos.
That's like blog posts, right?
It's a blog post, yeah. So it was the first roadblock I ran into was that ChatGPT can't access anything on the internet. It's only got its existing data set. and you can't like send it the video and it can't analyze it because that's kind of beyond its scope. But I coached it up a little bit. I was like, hey, ChatGPT, what about if I sent you a transcript of the video? And ChatGPT was like, yeah, that would work, Zach. So I sent a copy of the transcript to ChatGPT, and it kind of worked, to be honest. It wasn't great. I would have to sit there and like rework it a little bit, but it did kind of get like 60% of the way there. And this is ChatGPT 3.5. So I think there's a newer version that's out now.
Oh.
I do think that dumb guy voice should be the voice of ChatGPT for now.
Yeah. ChatGPT is like the idiot from a 70s sitcom.
Dumb guy voice. I like that one, Derek. We all have a friend that literally talks in dumb guy voice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know, man. I think that's a pretty good idea.
I have
That
a
sounds
friend
more like a
who,
clown.
I have a friend who sounds very much like Big Bird,
Oh,
and it's pretty funny.
that was actually one of my nicknames in high school.
I know, it's because you wore the yellow shirt to like the first day of hockey or something, right?
It was so I got all yellow leg pads and gloves as a goalie. And one of the coaches called me Big Bird. But
That's
yeah.
and it's just stuck for the rest of your life. Still call you Big Bird to this day.
I mean, some of those guys, if I saw those hockey guys from high school, they might remember it. But like most of the guys I still hang out with now, like were there during that time, and I don't think they would remember it unless I brought it up. Didn't stick super well.
Yeah, there's a certain level of, or a certain age where you hit where nicknames kind of fall away. It's somewhere like in the mid-20s, because I had a lot of friends who went by nicknames up
Right.
until about that age, and then at a certain point you're like, okay, we have jobs now, we should be calling each other by our real first names.
Yeah. For me, I think it's like 95% of the time I call the guys by their name. But then, like that odd occasion, you hit them with one of their nicknames just to get like a laugh or something like that.
Oh, for sure. Or like, if they shoot a nice 3-pointer or something into the garbage can.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
hit them with the nickname. Yeah,
Exactly. Anything sports related, the nicknames come back out. But just like normal day to day conversation, it's usually the first name.
You gotta earn it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's it. Yeah, exactly. For celebratory reasons only.
I got a buddy. His last name is BB, so we would always call him Bieber because he like that was like this is in high school, right? Everybody hated Justin Bieber, so he would get so mad when you'd call him Bieber. But it's stuck. We still call him that to this day. He's just accepted it now at this point.
I mean, if you hate the nickname, it does tend to make it stick more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
One of the great ironies of life.
That's one of those things they need to teach you, like when you're growing up. Be like, hey, because I don't care who you are. Every single person growing up, regardless of how cool or uncool you were on that scale in school, every single person got picked on.
Yeah. That's at one point. Like, yeah, for sure.
Right. They need to teach you, be like, oh, when people pick on you, just be like, yeah, you're right. Like almost like
It really
bully defense class.
Yeah, bully defense class is that's what they should do with like all these kids who get chronically picked on. Or I mean, at least this was the way it was when I was growing up. The kids who got chronically picked on were the ones that would give the biggest reactions, and then they would become like you'd be like trying to get these guys worked up because you knew you could. Like if you just kept calling them the name they didn't like, they would like flip their wig and like get all angry. Right. And that was like part of the game for kids, was to like try and elicit responses out of other people. But if you're just like, that's funny, and then walk away, it's like, okay, you don't give them anything to work off of, and they usually just go away.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, anyone under the age of what age do you think people just stop trying to just be rude to people for fun? What would you say, like early 20s?
Yeah, I think it's weird. Like I remember a couple of times in university people would like try and bully people or be mean and just be like, what are you doing, man? Like, we're all adults
Right.
here. Like, it doesn't work at a certain point. I think like once you're out of high school, you had to put that stuff away.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking too. I was going to say like 2021. It's just like,
Yeah.
just stop. Like, this isn't
Just
funny.
stop. Yeah.
Right? Like, we're all humans here. Like, you know, you don't need, if you want to poke fun at somebody and be a little like a wisecrack, like whatever, but we're not just going to absolutely ridicule this person like all day. Like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Get over yourself.
Yeah. 100%.
Well, we had who was it in the live chat? Hold on, let me scroll up. Brandon Cameron, which is actually brothers with James Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Had a question about the fires up in Canada. Zach, what's going on up there?
Honestly, I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Dude, I live in the middle of the city. It's like, I don't know. It seems pretty normal here.
Don't all you Canadians know each other?
Nah.
It's a small town, right? So
I don't even know where these fires are. I was walking home from the beach the other day with my friend, and he was like, "Oh, great sunset. Must be because of the fires." I was like, "Really? Like, I don't think we're close enough to where the fires are happening, but maybe." That dude's saying it's all happening in Quebec right now.
Nova Scotia.
I mean, if it's getting all the way down to PA and stuff, though, it has to be coming like right over my head. So maybe it is. I don't know. I have
like,
wildfires.
Look outside. Is it like cloudy, hazy?
Okay, hold on. Well, today was a little bit
Report.
hazy, but it was also like hot and humid, so it's like a little muggy normally. Anyways, it's so hard to tell. Okay, I'm gonna look on a map. I'm gonna look up Canada wildfires and see how far away they are from me.
Like, isn't this like that one bear, Smokey the Bear or whatever? This is all his doing, right? The guy that set stuff on fire.
Yeah. Let's see.
I
Okay,
have a
looking for a map
conspiracy
right now.
for you.
Okay.
I think Smokey the Bear is a distraction that the government is actually burning, like doing just massive wildfires, trying to wipe people and animals out, man.
Okay. Like unsavory. Like, you think they're trying to like, what's their motivation for wiping those people out? They just don't like them?
I don't know. I was trying to come up with something funny. Farmland.
Farmland, yeah. It's like they want to build highways, so they just burn the whole section. Yeah.
They hate
I can't find a good map of where the wildfires are right now. Maybe I got one. Fire danger, fire weather index.
Derek, you got a pretty wild map. Is that all the way? That's like Manhattan and Michigan.
Yeah,
and
this is
Buffalo,
the
right?
fire weather risk hazard map.
Oh, so I should be mad at
Everything
the New Yorkers for sending their fire risk up this way.
Right. No, it's pretty bad in Columbus. Like, you go outside in Ohio, and like it'll be bright. Like all this weekend, it was super bright out.
Yeah,
but we were driving home, and I'm like, it's like cloudy, but it's not cloudy. It's just like foggy. And then Miranda's like, oh yeah. She's like, oh yeah, there's a huge wildfires. I was like, where?
And I guess, okay, so the one I found that actually works, Derek, is the globeandmail.com. They have an interactive map that kind of shows where all the fires are. It's mostly in Quebec. That dude's right. There's a little bit in Ontario, but a lot in Quebec.
Huh.
Oh yeah, there's some pretty good ones in Nova Scotia too. Interesting. That's
wild. Yeah, it's making it all the way. So it got all the way down to PA. Well, I got it in Ohio, and anybody else in the chat
I'm not
anything
subscribed.
further doesn't see like we got anything further so far. But dude,
I need to
that's
look at a map. I just did this drive recently, so you'd think I would remember. But like what the relation to Toronto to Columbus is.
It's about 6.5 hours, 7 hours.
Yeah, you're like south of me and a little bit west. But it's not that far on the map, really. Huh. Yeah, I can
don't
see
know.
us sharing some of the same weather and smoke.
Yeah, but you said you couldn't really see it outside?
I mean, I don't know. I'm the world's most oblivious person, so I'm probably not the right person to be asking about this. I just wake up and it's like, I don't know, it's hazy out. I guess I just assumed it was because it was a hazy day.
Another day, another dollar.
Exactly.
That's nuts. Well,
Well, I think there are some other people. There are
Oh,
some other
go
people
ahead.
out there who are affected by the wildfires.
Yeah, there's a lot of people affected by the wildfires. Luckily, there are no new people affected by the wildfires.
Oh,
But we do have a returning list of people affected by the wildfires. And there are top tier patrons. We've got Dadu, we got Luke Schmidt, Derek Jennings of the Country Designs, who's nice enough to hang out with us and help co-host the show, look stuff up because we can't do it because we get distracted. Corey Duvall, Jason Price at Priceless Pro Designs, Scott Eastman, Eastie's Woodshop, who, if I'm not mistaken, has been our longest top tier patron, right?
I think you're right. You're right.
If I'm mistaken, I severely apologize. And of course, the guy that has the most trouble with Patreon and the internet of any person I've ever met in my life, the Power Cocker, formerly known as Wes. He's back again.
I know. Wes, you really have to stop apologizing to us when your Patreon gets screwed up because it's not your fault and we're not mad at you. Like we get these emails and you're like, and Wes will be like, I'm so sorry about my whole thing. It's like, dude, you don't owe us anything. Like,
I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that. Like, I don't like. Yeah, thank you for the support, but like, dude, I get it. I know you're going through hell right now. We thought we got it all settled, and like, this is everyone's advice to just, oh my god, just don't get your identity stolen.
Oh man, I can only imagine. Like,
but
sometimes I worry about like just losing my wallet. Like, what a hassle that would be. Like going and like re-registering, getting all your cards again, canceling your credit cards, getting new ones, getting a new like health card, social insurance, whatever. Like,
wait,
but
you hold your social security card or social insurance card with you at all times?
I don't have my wallet on me. No, I don't think I have my social insurance one, but I have my health card, which is, okay. I guess you don't know what a health card is as an American, but it's like basically the card we have to show to get our free health care.
Huh.
What would be worse, losing your wallet or losing your phone?
I don't know.
Just buy a new phone.
Yeah.
But how much of your life is on your phone now?
Yeah, a lot of it's backed up to the cloud
and everything.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I think at first I'd be like, yeah, it's all in the cloud, and then I would get like 2 weeks into having a new phone and be like, oh, but I don't have like that one thing that was saved in some random folder on my phone that I actually need.
Those feed photos.
Yeah.
They didn't back up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I would much rather lose my phone.
Lose your phone than your wallet? What will be the worst part about losing your wallet for you?
Trying to get a new driver's license. It seems like a pain in the ass.
That's true. And sometimes you can, if you don't have all of your documents, you can get into one of these like weird, like bureaucratic loops where it's like, okay, in order to get your driver's license, you also need to show like a credit card with your name on it or, you know, like, or your health card. I'm trying to think of like the American equivalents, but like, you know, like your passport or something like that. And if you don't have that other thing that they also rely on, you're basically just screwed.
Yeah. It's a nightmare. Yeah. That's why whenever I try to go in, like when we had to update our IDs and get like this new, whatever they call it, like real ID or some nonsense like that, you had to take like 1 million different documents to get it in. So I literally took like 15 different documents. I think you had to have 4. And I was like, I have to wait in line for this for an hour and a half with all of these mouth breathers. Like, I'm not coming back. And so I put all my documents on the counter, and the clerk person at the BMV gave me so much attitude. She's like, I don't need all these. I was like, well, I don't know which ones you need, so I just brought them all.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Here's my
they were
birth
like,
certificate.
yes.
Here's my here's my birth certificate. Here's my proof of death.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my last 17 mailing addresses with bank account statements to all of them. Like, here's the name of my firstborn. Oh, it's a nightmare. But I'm gonna change things up because we usually don't do this. You ready?
Okay.
For this?
Yeah, I am.
So we're only halfway through the show, but we always ask people then, and I know that when this comes, everybody just is like, "I'm out. Go to the next show." Well, joke's on you because we still got a whole podcast to go, and I'm going to tell you that if you want to support the show, leave a review, send it to a friend. Do all kinds of other nice things. And if you really want to throw a couple bucks so we can keep the lights on, then it's the only way we generate any sort of money from this thing because we don't do ads because they're annoying as hell on a podcast. You can join us on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/offthecut-podcast, get your name on the podcast, get us on the after show, talk about the what the hell, the chat thing
Discord?
that you got. Yeah, Discord.
the chat thing that all the kids are on. We also have the Discord. We also have the Discord server set up where a lot of people like to chat about their woodworking projects. They also talk about their content creation journeys. And there's also the Dork Dungeon where I hang out and talk about computer stuff with people. So it's a good time.
There's a pretty good amount of people on that. I tried to get in the other day and I was on there. I couldn't for the life of me figure that thing out.
Discord, I think, is made intentionally hard to scare away boomers.
They got me.
Yeah.
They got me.
Hey, while we're on the subject of apps that are potentially are intentionally made hard so that they scare away the old people. Yeah. Have you ever used Snapchat?
Oh, dude. I used Snapchat like when I was in high school and college because it was pretty hip, you know? Like you're hip happening if you had it. That interface is mind-boggling. It's like swipe up to get to a menu. It's basically think of you have like a cube, like a dice.
Yes, yeah.
And you're like navigating sides of the cube to try to like get to different menus and interfaces. And I never know where on the cube I am to try to get to the other interface.
Correct.
And it's infuriating.
Yes, it was one of the most infuriating apps that I've ever used. And that's where I got this idea from because they admitted to the fact that they made it intentionally hard to use so that only young people would do it. Yeah.
Is this
but I don't
so go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
But I was going to say now in 2023, I don't know anybody who uses Snapchat, so joke's on them.
I don't know. Miranda still uses it. Miranda's brothers.
Okay.
I think women use it a lot more.
Yeah.
Really? Interesting. I don't think Sophie uses it.
Stupid photos to each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sophie uses this other one called Be Real. Have you ever heard of this one?
That sounds familiar.
That's the one where you can only post like once a day, and it's you get a notification when you can post, and it's all in like real time.
Yeah, they give you a window to they'll send you a notification. It's like you have 15 minutes to just post a selfie of whatever you're doing in this moment, and it takes a front photo and a back photo, and then just post it.
I mean, not to be crass, but what if you're taking a poop?
Then you gotta do
you
it,
got
or you
15
just don't
minutes to
post
wrap
that
it up.
day. Yeah,
15 minutes. What am I, a marathon runner? I don't have that time.
There's all these like alternative social medias that have come out throughout the years, and they always have some weird like little gimmicky gotcha feature, and it's fun for a little bit, but then it's like, well, I just don't see that this thing has legs to continue as a social media. And I made that call about Be Real, and I mean, I don't know anybody that still uses it now. Yeah.
What was the first social media you both got on?
Oh, probably Facebook.
MySpace.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. MySpace. I mean, probably. Now, let me think about this. Does AIM or like MSN Messenger, does that count as social media?
It's a good question.
You still remember that sound? When you get like
yeah. ICQ. You have like
ICQ?
friends lists and profiles and stuff.
Yeah.
What the hell is ICQ?
You don't know ICQ? Oh, I
No.
guess you're a little young for ICQ. Look up ICQ. So it was like a messaging service, much like MSN or AIM.
Oh, okay.
It was a little, it's like a little flower icon,
Yeah.
and it was just a very simple text messaging service on your computer.
Okay, this'll be funny.
I wonder if it's still
was-
around. Oh shit! Oh, okay. Oh, there's the explicit. I'm gonna get ICQ, and then I'm gonna like pressure all my friends to get it. It'll be like a weird hipster move on my part.
Well, everybody's going with throwback stuff now. Like,
I know.
apparently, it's cool now to just pay for everything with cash. Like, literally paying like dollar bills. Like, that's like cool and trendy and retro now, I guess.
Yeah, I went to a store recently, and I had some cash from like selling. I'm big on selling stuff that I don't need anymore on like Craigslist, and there's a Canadian version called Kijiji that I use all the time. So if I don't need something, I just sell it. So I always have cash from selling stuff. And so I went to the store and I was trying to buy like a t-shirt or something like that. And I went to use cash and they're like, we only take card. And I was like, oh, you dirty sons of bitches.
So I thought that there was some, and I could be completely making this up. I thought there was some law where merchants had to accept all forms of currency.
That was my understanding too. That's why I was so angry. I mean, I wasn't actually angry, but I was a little disappointed.
I mean, not to incriminate myself, but if I were to be selling something, I would 100% rather you pay with cash because I may or may not, put that in my taxes.
Allegedly, one might not.
Hypothetically speaking.
Dude, there's all sorts of businesses in Toronto that will give you like a 10% discount if you pay cash. When we moved, actually, the movers were like, yeah, we'll give you like a 7% discount if you pay in cash. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
On Mandy's engagement ring by paying cash.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I just, we would like talk price or whatever. And then I was like, will you take off this amount if I pay in cash? And they go, yeah, sure. Didn't even hesitate.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I mean,
was it whatever sales tax is?
No, I think I got like 8% off, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. I mean, on a big purchase like that.
Right, yeah, that was a
couple bucks.
Cool beans. I mean, at the very least, they don't have to pay that 3.5% to like swipe your card or whatever.
Yeah, that's always been unclear to me, like what the various vendors pay. Like I've heard flat rates, it's like $1 a transaction. I've heard it's like 1 to 2% a transaction. So
it
depends on the amount of volume that you're going.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you told me Amazon pays 3.5% on every transaction, I'm like, I don't think so. But like me, when somebody buys something from my website, I gotta pay like 3 or 3.5% or whatever.
Right. I mean, I assume if Amazon was paying 3.5%, they probably just buy the credit card company or the payment provider.
Well, they have their own credit card provider or credit card service rather. So they are getting into financial servicing.
I can believe that.
I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of the companies are doing that. Like my Best Buy card has converted to a full-on credit card that you can use anywhere now. And I've noticed that with a lot of merchant cards, they're transitioning to being financial services as well and offering full-fledged credit cards in place of just the merchant card, so you can use it anywhere.
Interesting.
Because they make so much more money on the financial aspect than they do the product themselves. I mean, think of like car dealerships as the classic. Yeah, they don't make anything selling that car.
Yeah, it's all.
That's why they try and get you to finance with them.
Right.
That's why. Yeah, that's true. That's why you have like you go buy a Chevrolet car, you talk to GM Financing. Like you just you deal directly with their financial arm.
So I actually looked up this cash thing. Okay, and this is for the Federal Reserve, so it's just for the U.S. It says there is no federal statute mandating that a private business, a person, or an organization must accept currency or coins as payment for goods or services. Private businesses are free to develop their own policies on whether to accept cash unless there's a state law that says otherwise.
Oh, interesting. So might vary state by state.
505-103.
Okay. So maybe in like Florida, they would have to accept cash, but then in Ohio, they might not.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. They should have to accept cash. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand why they wouldn't want to do it because it's probably a hassle. You have to take cash to the bank, deposit into an account. Right. But like, I like cash. Cash is like when you have $500 in your hand in cash, it's like, oh, that's a nice feeling. But then when you have $500 in your bank account, you're like, it's just numbers on a screen. Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to send me $500 digital dollars, Zach, I'll still take it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair. I also like it when you have a lot of small bills. And this is why I love traveling to the US so much, because you get like a big wad of $1 bills. And it feels good. Like $30 is like a good wad of $1 bills. And it feels nice in the hand. You don't get that in Canada.
For stuff in the US.
Yeah.
It's
going straight to the dollar menu at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is brought to you by McDonald's. So, speaking, we'll get back to that. We've got more important things to talk about.
Yeah.
Could you ever imagine getting someone in our space getting sponsored by fast food?
Oh, yeah, I could actually. I could see that.
Who, or like, what do you think the integration would be?
Oh, let's pair them up.
The integration is pretty clear. It's like, I am so busy doing all the things that I do in my social media business and my other business that sometimes I just don't have the time to cook meals for every meal of the day. And that's why I go to McDonald's to get a healthy breakfast in the morning to get my day started right.
So you've already scripted out your ad.
Yeah, I have hypothetical ads for pretty much every single business you can imagine, just in case they come to me.
Okay. Zach, I can see you you're the Wendy's Baconator guy.
Oh, I would pay them for that role.
I think you do.
If I could just have my name somehow associated with the Baconator, I would pay them for that.
The Zach Attack.
The Zach Attack, yeah, the Zacinator.
The Zach builds burgers.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's not bad. All right, what fast food place would you associate me with? Can't think.
I don't know. Yeah. One of those places where it's like you can get a really healthy salad, but it's fast.
Oh, come on. I'm that guy.
I don't know. You're a healthy guy. You're a much healthier eater than I am. So it's hard to imagine you doing like Popeyes or something.
I still haven't been to Popeyes.
Oh, God, you're killing me here.
We were supposed to go there at Workbench Con.
I know. Was there Popeyes nearby? I don't think there was.
I don't know.
I guess we could have ordered it. Next time. Next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
We'll hang out in that little lobby area by those couches and just get Popeyes delivered.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Yeah.
Some chicken legs. I'd be down for it.
But. What fast food business do you think you most closely align with?
I guess, Wendy's is the one I frequent most.
Frequent? Okay. All right. I could cede Wendy's to you and then I could pick up Popeyes.
Or here's what happens when one of us picks up a Wendy's sponsorship. We're like, but here's the thing. I got another guy that needs to go in on this.
Oh, yeah. Package deal.
Yeah. So you can do the burgers from Wendy's. I'm going to be the chicken man. I'm all about the spicy chicken filet or the spicy chicken nuggets. Delicious.
I haven't had their spicy chicken nuggets.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
They've been here for an eternity.
Right. Yeah, I don't even know that they are in Canada. They definitely have spicy chicken burgers, but I don't know about nuggets.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. All right.
Wendy's gets some wild shit. Like they get some weird bun burger sauce combo and like I want to try some of this stuff, but I also don't want to pay $7 and not only have terrible indigestion, but have a terrible meal to go with it.
Yeah, it's always a gamble, but I'm such a sucker for like the limited time offer thing.
Oh,
When they're like, whenever they're like the McRib is back, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I have to get the McRib or the Shamrock Shake or like any of these special novelty menu items. Even if I don't like it, I have to try it.
I've never had any of those. I know what they
No?
are, but I've never had any of those.
Oh man, you're missing out. Well, the Shamrock Shake, I'm pretty sure is just like a mint,
Right.
vanilla mint milkshake.
So does the
and-
McRib have a bone in it?
No. So I think the McRib, basically what they do is they get a bunch of pig meat and they press it into the shape of like a pork rib.
So it's like a hot dog, basically.
No, because it looks kind of vaguely like the same shape as a set of ribs, but it's just all meat.
Okay.
It's so slathered in barbecue sauce that you really can't tell which way is up. But it's pretty delicious.
You know, as soon as you started saying that they press it into the shape, it got me thinking, so ribs have a distinctive shape that you can press the food into.
Mm-hmm.
Why did chicken nuggets?
Or chicken fingers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, those aren't
Chicken
resembling anything.
I know, it's weird. I assume it's like a utilitarian thing because with chicken there's just like a bunch of little waste bits that they have at the end that they just press together into like something that's remotely like a little patty or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't
I do
understand
know.
where the nugget shape comes from.
I do know the McDonald's nugget shapes do have thought. There's one that's supposed to look like a chicken leg.
No
and then
way,
there's
really?
One that's supposed to look like a bell for some reason. I can't remember why. And then I can't remember what the third shape is.
What?
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I thought they were all
there's a
just
real
like
thing.
vaguely rounded off rectangles.
Okay,
McDonald's
I gotta Google this.
McNugget shape.
Okay, they have a bell, bone, boot, and ball are the official names.
All that.
Oh my God, there's even a percentage breakdown of the likelihood that you get each.
Oh my god, I thought they were all just like the bone shape. I mean, they don't even look anything remotely like what they're named after.
Okay, so there's a 7% chance that you're going to get a ball, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a circle. There's a 13% chance that you're going to get the bell, which I would say is kind of like an oblong, almost diamond shaped.
Yeah.
There's a 22% chance you're going to get the bone. So think of like a figure 8 kind of shape. And then there's a 36% chance that you're going to get a boot, which is exactly what it sounds like, where it's got a little nubbin sticking out the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I'm going to blow my friends' minds when I tell them about this. I legitimately had no idea. I thought they were all just kind of random, but it makes sense. They probably have like some cookie cutter device that just presses them out of a big blob of chicken, right?
It
They
actually
probably
extrudes
extrude
them and then slices them.
Oh, extrudes, yeah. Oh, I
It's
should
just
have
like
thought about that.
aluminum nuggets.
Anything extruded is so cool.
Huh.
Like even when you see like Play-Doh come out and it's like in the shape of a star, I love that.
So speaking of sponsored content and food, have you guys seen the Mr. Beast burgers?
I've had them before.
Yeah.
I've ordered them a couple times. I like them.
Yeah,
they're
not
yummy.
bad.
So Eric, you'll appreciate this. I mean, I don't know if this is the case everywhere, but certainly here in Toronto, there are no physical Mr. Beast locations. They exist only as ghost kitchens.
There's only one
what
in
the
the
hell
US.
is a Mr. Beast location?
Okay, so Mr. Beast started a burger company.
Okay.
And as far as I know, okay, so they only operate as ghost kitchens except for one location, Derek?
Yes, and I believe the only one location in the US is in the Mall of America.
Okay.
We went and visited it.
That's pretty cool. So basically, the way it works, Eric, is these companies sign on and they say, okay, we have, like a Chinese food restaurant, but we have all this cooking equipment that lays dormant a lot of the time. So they'll sign an agreement with Mr. Beast or whoever the company is that's actually running this. I assume he just promotes it. And they'll say, we will use our excess capacity to to follow the Mr. Beast burger recipe and deliver it with Mr. Beast branding.
This is my. Oh, I gotta. I'm typing in my address to see if they'll deliver it to me.
So it's all
They-
delivery or pickup.
They probably will, and it'll probably come from like some Italian food restaurant in your neighborhood.
Okay, I'm ordering now. Yeah, it's come. Oh, I can even see where it's coming from.
Oh, you can.
I'm not telling people what it is because I don't want people to know where I'm going to live. Is that all?
Yeah,
I
Chili's
don't know.
does this with hot wings too.
You're right. It's a Mexican place.
See? Told you. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Yeah, this happens all the time. So this is a new thing. If you ever go on Uber Eats or any of these apps where you can, order from multiple restaurants, a lot of the time there's restaurants that exist only on Uber Eats, and it's like a Chinese food restaurant will be like, okay, we have this excess capacity. Let's also spin up a secondary brand that's Italian food, and they'll start making Italian food next to the Chinese food, and then just sell it strictly on Uber Eats.
Yep, delivery only.
Son of a bitch.
There's
That's
a big
crazy.
there's a big conglomerate here in Canada called Cara Foods, and they own most of the big kind of restaurant chains, and they own a couple fast food chains as well. And they have a dedicated ghost kitchen location that I went to recently. So it's like 5 of their most popular restaurants all operating in the same building, and there's no like seating area. You literally just show up and you get your food in a bag and you get out. But it's like, it's a Harvey's, it's a Swiss Chalet, it's like, it's a Freshie, it's like 3 or 4 other things, all operating out of this one storefront and because they own all the brands, they can do it.
Blows my damn mind.
I know, it blew my mind when I first learned about it too.
I'm gonna save this tab on my shit. On my other list of tabs that I have to show Miranda. Okay, there we go. I gotta show her this one. That's nuts, man.
But yeah, Mr. Beast Burger, pretty delicious. I like them.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
It's like
not
junk food.
terribly
It's
priced. It looked like it was like a burger, some sort of beverage, and then like a fries, and it was like $14.
Yeah, it's pretty affordable, especially for like, like a quote unquote influencer product.
Right.
I do find that the fries vary on location.
Oh, really?
Interesting. I think it depends on what fries they have in the area.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So do they do it like other fast food restaurants do it? Where like, okay, let's cut the BS here. It's just a frozen patty that's coming in and they cook it. Right? Is that? I'm assuming that's how they're doing it. He has like a line of frozen patties.
I wonder.
Think it's packaging.
Yeah, I don't even know necessarily if they're sending out frozen beef patties or it's just a recipe that the people follow. Like they just go and get ground beef and cook it to the spec.
Oh,
or probably use some company like Cisco and use their
right. Yeah.
Right. Huh. Well, that is interesting.
I know.
I never knew.
It's a pretty interesting little slice of like. I think this was something that came out of COVID, or at least it was the popularity of it was really kicked up a notch during COVID because nobody was doing indoor dining for so long. All these restaurants started looking for other ways to make money.
Interesting. Well, speaking of indoor dining, I want to take a moment to thank my favorite pizza place here. It's called Tommy's Pizza. They finally opened up their damn dining room so that I can go get a fresh pizza and a pitcher of beer. And I'm gonna give them some claps for that.
So they had their dining room closed up until recently?
Up until Saturday.
Wow,
so
crazy.
I was in my scuba class all weekend with Miranda, and like afterwards we were so freaking hungry. I was like, well, why don't we just grab a pizza? And it's right by my parents' house. So why don't we grab a pizza, then we'll just go to my parents' house and eat. And then when I went there, I was like, their dining room's open.
Wow, that's a big switch. I noticed it's funny, like all these like kind of COVID things are slowly going away. Like the hardware store that I get a lot of my lumber and a lot of materials at, they had all of those plexiglass dividers between, the desk from the people who take your order and then the common contractor folk like me. And I went in like 2 weeks ago and all the plexiglass was out of there. I was like, whoa, this is weird. Like this is, being back in 2018 or whatever.
Oh, dude, I made a killing making those. I had a friend of mine, his dad's a doctor. So he's like, hey, can you make me some of these things for the office? And he wanted a bunch of them. Oh, man, I cleaned up on those.
Wow.
Because you didn't have to make them look good.
Yeah, you just had to get them out the door, right? Because people wanted them. Wow. I should have thought of that.
I know. But what was I going to say? Oh. I figured, we're what? 50 minutes into the show, maybe we'll talk about woodworking. I had something.
Sure, let's do it. Let's do it.
So, I told you I bought that carbon method stuff. That like
the one molecule thick coating.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Bought it a long time ago, and it's been sitting in a box next to my computer for 6-9 months, maybe. Mm-hmm. Finally, put it on my table saw the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have mixed results, and hear me out. So my table saw is whatever that gold thing that Harvey sells or whatnot.
Yeah, is that just like a fancy anodized coating, or is it actually some special material?
It's just a coating. So and shocker, it's already like worn through in some spots.
Okay, so it's not very thick. So it's just like a little thin gold layer on top. And what's the material underneath? Is it cast iron?
Cast iron. It's just a coating over the cast iron. And it's
all right, cool.
They say it's supposed to help prevent rust and like aid in make it a little more slippery, like less friction.
Yeah. I will say with my saw stop, I've like accidentally rested things on it. Like even, I'm trying to think what it was, but it was like a tool case that was in the back of my truck. I brought it in and it was just like a little tiny bit damp or something from being in the back of my truck. Yeah. And then I moved it like 15 minutes later and there's already a rust spot on the saw stop. So those cast iron tops rust really quick.
Right.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any issues at all with the gold top other than like, my just like your miter gauge. It's like that rubs it off.
Yeah, gotcha.
But whatever.
It is what it is.
Is what it is. So I did the whole carbon thing, whatever the product is. What is it called? Carbon method, carbon code. I don't know what the hell it's called.
I think carbon method. I think that's
carbon
right.
Method, if that's the one you're talking about.
Sure, let's go with that one. So I did that thing. I did the whole rigmarole where you gotta buff up, put coats on, buff it out, that whole thing. It definitely did increase. Like I was like, oh yeah, my saw is a little bit more slick. And I did like the spray that's supposed to make it glide better. I did that. It definitely is more slick. However, I also did it on my bandsaw, which is just normal cast iron, and that is substantially more slick.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
So I wonder if it adheres better to raw cast iron.
I don't know. Okay,
so
here's could be operator error.
Here's what I think you need to do is you need to get some like 400 grit sandpaper. You need to remove the gold coating on your Harvey thing, and then you got to go carbon method right on the cast iron. I
had considered it, but I feel like the gold is going to be a comment chaser. People go, what's the gold table saw?
True. That's a good point. They should, the carbon method stuff, they should put like a little bit of dye in it or something so that you can see when it's still there.
Yeah, it's like wet. Like, you apply like Windex to something and then it dries, right? It's clear.
Yeah. But I'm wondering, like, if you put a dye in it, could it then dry such that you could see when it's worn off and when it's time to reapply it?
That's an interesting idea.
I'm going to talk with the carbon method people.
No, I already did. They they were trying to get me like to do a fully integrated video. Basically, where the entire video is all about it, and they just gave an asinine number. Yeah, like no way in hell And this was, and Mark was on the emails. My agent was on the emails, and he was like, "Yeah, you've been talking to all of the people on my roster. Like your offer is insultingly low. No, we're not doing this." He was like,
Yeah.
"Don't contact any of my people about this offer, please."
That's funny.
It was funny. But yeah, honestly, so far, it's only been 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
I like it.
Here's what I would like to. I'm curious now. I mean, I need to do my table saw, so maybe I'll get some. But I'm also thinking, well, maybe I should get some like carnauba wax or whatever, and see, or like the ceramic wax that I use on my cars. Like maybe that's just as good.
It's not cheap, I'll tell you that. Like the kit to do your table saw was like I don't know, $100 or so.
And what comes in the kit?
I can pull it up for you. Carbon Method. Shop now. I got some combo kit because I didn't know what the hell I was buying. Okay, so I got the one. You can either get a combo kit for 1 to 2 tools, but I got the one for 2+ tools because my table saw is pretty large. It's got the router table. I just want to make sure I had enough on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 2+ tool kit is $99.99.
Okay.
You get a bottle of Jesus. Get out of here. Jesus isn't actually here. It was just a pop-up ad. You get a bottle of this Carbon Glide, which is like the spray frictiony stuff. You get a bottle of the Carbon Coat, which is the actual like coating thingy. And you get a bottle of this like cleaning spray, and then you get applicator pads and like microfiber towels. All that for $100.
$100.
Yeah.
So, what's the order of operations here? You hit it with a cleaner first.
Yeah.
And then you hit it with the Glide, and then the coat.
No, so you hit it with the cleaner first, then you hit it with the Carbon Coat thingy, and then a day later you put the Carbon Glide on top of it, which is just like a friction reducer.
Okay.
There's a pretty bad podcast people might be familiar with called the Green Suitors Podcast.
I've never heard of it.
There's a gentleman wouldn't be really accurate. There's a male on
a vagabond
podcast. Yeah. A proletariat. I had to pull that one out. Named Jason something or other. Jason Bean. I think Jason Bean. He's got a really subpar YouTube channel. And on it, he did a whole video about how to apply it. It's boring as hell. He makes awful videos. But if you need to know how to apply it, you can listen to Mr. Bean's YouTube channel about it.
Let me ask you this. If you were to make a video where you were going to compare this coating to another coating, what kind of test would you do?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
I wouldn't even want to start that. That sounds like an awful video. I
mean,
maybe you do like the thing where you put like masking tape and like lines across your table saw and do a couple different coatings and then like put some water or something on there. But the problem is you're going to have to leave your table saw like that for like a year because I guarantee all of them work great for the first couple days.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. So what you're saying is I'm going to have to go get a whole other table saw. I'm going to have like a test table saw specifically to make this video.
Yeah, just expense it out.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just write it off.
Yeah, just write it off. But then you can't just leave it there. You're also going to want to have this saw like going in a regular production, where you're sliding your wood all across the surface and all kinds of stuff like that.
And the problem is you use really just the area closest to the blade gets the most work. And then as you go out to the left or right in either direction, you use it less frequently, right? So you couldn't just put all of the coatings right near the blade that gets the most use, so they would wear unevenly.
You need a couple contractors that you can put it on their tables and let them go out and use it in the real world, and then compare afterwards.
But maybe they have different degrees of how hard they are on their tools.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's tough. I gotta think on this one. I love the idea of videos where you kind of like myth bust things. So
it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. I don't think it's necessarily evident to people, but like collecting data for videos is more work than you would think.
Right. I know our buddy Scott Walsh has done like the joint strength testing thing. I'm like, sure, that's super interesting. Like, I'm sure he had fun doing that, but dear God, that sounds like a lot of freaking work.
A lot of work.
And I'm too lazy to do that.
Yeah, I'd rather just build something and then fire off the video.
All right. Or build something, make a video of it, and then sleep on it for a year and a half.
Now you're talking.
That's the strategy. That's the strategy, baby.
Then milk it for 3 weeks on Instagram.
That's right. Well, you got to hype it up when it finally does come out.
Yeah. Or longer. Oh, my God. Oh, exhausted. You know what I finally did that's about damn time?
Your media console?
Oh, did I tell you I finished it? It's done.
No, okay, it's done. Nice. Are you using it?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. See, okay, here's a little quirk of me is if I finish a project and a lot of the time I won't use the end result until I've released the video.
Why?
I don't know, because I'm an insane person. I've done that. I'm really like honestly not sure why I do this, but it just doesn't feel right to start using it until the video's out for some reason.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, man, if I did that.
Yeah, I know.
I still wouldn't have a dining table. Well, I guess I would have just had a dining table a year later. Oh, man. That's right. I know. I don't do that. I definitely don't do that.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just...
I mean, I think there's something wrong with it. It's not smart. It's not a good way to be.
No, but I mean, how long is it usually like from the time you finish something to the time you put the video out? Like a couple weeks?
Well,
maybe?
see, this is why, yeah, it gives me incentive to get the video out there.
Well, what if you're waiting on a sponsor?
Never been in that situation before.
No.
I'll just put a video out if I don't have a sponsor. I mean, it makes my life hell when I do get a sponsor. I'm like, oh crap, I have to come up with a video ASAP for this video that the sponsor wants out in 2 weeks.
Right. You put out a video June 1st, and then the sponsor on June 2nd is like, hey, can you do a video for me next week? You're like, oh, son of a gun.
Yeah, damn it. Okay, all right, I'll get to work.
Waited. We should do is unpublish the video.
True.
Edit into it and pre-post it.
Dude, do you think you could do that? Like, take it because
100% could.
The sponsors aren't going to look at all of your back catalog. No. So just take something like off the shelf that you posted years ago, like just add a little integration into it and be like, okay, here you go. Here's your thing.
Ooh, here's a question for you. And I know this is shady as all hell, and I'm asking this question just
hypothetically.
Hypothetically. A brand reaches out to me because I have 2 channels. A brand reaches out to me and is like, hey, we want to do a sponsored video. And I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. You make it. You send them like so for everybody who doesn't know at home. Oh, I got a patron. New patron. Hold on. I'll give them a shout out.
Personal or on
personal?
What you call it?
$1 patron.
Nice.
I didn't even know I had that tier.
Custom tier.
Alan Salnikov. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate that. 70 cents a month.
What's the lowest you can go on a custom patron?
Don't know.
I have no idea.
Can you go under $1?
Probably, but I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like at that point, Patreon's just like, yeah, we'll just take all the money.
Yeah.
So I have 2 channels. And for people who don't know how it works, a brand reaches out to you that, you go through this whole debate about how much you're going to pay, how much they're going to pay you, what deliverables you're going to give them, the launch date, so on and so forth. They send you over some materials or like, here are all the talking points. Here's what you have to say. If you do like a life insurance ad, you have like a statement that you have to read verbatim. And then you send them or you post the video on YouTube, but you mark it as something called unlisted, which basically means no one can find the video unless they have the direct link to it. You then send that link to the sponsor. they view it so they can watch, the final version of the video, and then they say, yeah, you're good, you're approved. And then you just press publish, and it's the exact same video. You haven't changed the video at all. So what if a brand asked me to do a sponsored video, and I just post the video on my second channel, unlisted, send them the link, and they check it out. They're like, yeah, it's good, whatever. And I just post the video on my second channel that has like no one that watches it.
Well, it's interesting because if you did that, if you sent them an unlisted from your other channel, they would still be able to see like, oh, Eric has put it onto his second channel.
Right.
So if they're clever, they might catch on to it and be like, hey, you should really put this on your other channel.
Right. But
now, is your channel name in the contract? Like
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
It really depends.
That's where they're going to get you.
Yeah, some of these contracts are like basically written on toilet paper. They're like they're nothing. Oh God, but then other ones are really intense.
I've seen some when I do stuff with Craig. Oh, the Whitney draws up this contract that's like 3 lines and a signature. It's just like,
yeah, exactly.
Wear safety glasses, like.
Yeah.
If you use pocket holes, use one that's not discontinued, and can you get it to us by the end of the month? Like that's like the contract.
Yeah. And then other companies, it's like a 10-page document. They're like, you shall not infringe, blah 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 blah. It's it's just legalese. Yeah.
Thou.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all written in Shakespearean English.
But I've considered doing that when people are like, "You want to do a YouTube video?" and I'll just be like very generic and unspecific. And I'll be like, yeah, sure. I'll be like, I can give you a 60-second ad. And they're like, okay. What if I just did a 60-second short ad and put it on my second channel?
Yeah.
I know that's shady. I don't think I would actually do it, but it's interesting to think about.
Yeah. I mean, I think you definitely could. And honestly, like I was saying before, if they're smart, they'll catch on and they'll see that the video is on your second channel, even in its unlisted state. But let's be honest, most brands, they're not really paying attention that hard, or at least that's been my experience.
No. I mean, I told you I had that one brand that paid me and I didn't even publish the video.
Yeah.
I literally had Mark contact them to cancel it, and they still paid me.
Well, I mean, based on what you said to me, I think it was in the after show last week, that might have been an attempt on their part to kind of extort a video out of you, essentially.
Well, yeah, maybe we did talk about this in the after show. They came to me and they're like, well, yeah, we just want you to publish the video. And I'm like, hell no.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe if you 10x that rate. And they're like, no, this is what we agreed on. I was like, no, we canceled it. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, well, our legal team reviewed it, and what would work best for us is if you just publish the video. And I said, no, I'll send you the money back. Like, we really want you to publish it. And I go, I'm not publishing.
I bet you do.
I'm sure you do, because you'd be just sweeping me over the coals with this one.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny.
It is. Well, is it time for the after show? I feel like it is.
Yeah, I think it's time for the after show. And you know what the best part about doing the whole Patreon jive early in the show is? We can just end this thing right here.
Hard cut. See you next week.